By many accounts, Burundi is the poorest country in the world with an average GDP of $307. They're actually 415 times poorer than the richest country by the same metric. That country is Luxembourg with an average GDP of $129,000. So our goal in this video is to make Burundi the richest country in the world by winning them the World Cup. This is what the national team of Burundi looks like. 1.5-star team. The highest rated player is 72 overall. The striker and the captain is 65 overall. And all the other players are in between 60 and 70 overall. So things don't look that bad when you look at their footballing ability. But in contrast, their economy is the worst in the world. Now, GDP represents the total value of a country's resources, and Burundi's GDP is close to $4 billion. So if you divide this number up by 12.9 million, which is their population, you get a number close to $307 per person, which makes Burundians the poorest people on the planet. Now, winning the World Cup wouldn't actually give every single Burundian $129,000, but I believe it would have an indirect effect on the general economy to boost it up all the way to the top. This is how it's gonna work. We've got 8 rewards. For each win, we're gonna open a box. We'll go from 1 to 8. Let's say, for example, this is just for demonstration purposes, natural resources get a boost. So that would add $25,000 to the GDP, and it would give every single player on the Burundi squad a +7 overall. The reason why the players get a boost is because they won a match, their country's getting richer, seeing their families get richer, their friends get richer would probably make these players happy, which is why I think an overall boost would make sense. Alright, it's time to finally get the show on the road. We've arranged a friendly against Luxembourg, the country with the highest GDP per capita. A win here would be a huge morale boost for the World Cup. Burundi were clearly the better side in the opening minutes, getting close to scoring a goal on 2 separate occasions. Then in the 37th minute, the Swallows were finally rewarded with a penalty kick that Captain Berahino scored to put them up by 1. However, at the beginning of the second half, Luxembourg would quickly draw level to make it 1-1. Then in the 80th minute, after an impressive show of skill from Rodriguez, Joaquim would score his second goal of the match to put Luxembourg up by a goal. And that's how this one would end, in disappointment for Burundi. Although that was a friendly, the morale is low. That was a huge match for the boys to prove that the poorest can beat the richest. Now, we've got playoffs. We have to face Cameroon. Burundi's on the verge of qualifying for the World Cup finals. They've never been this close. Cameroon looks strong. If we win, we'll get to open one of these boxes and get a bonus. So with a chip on their shoulders, the Burundi players came out to this away leg ready to win. And what a start to the match it was when Bigirimana fired in a beauty of a goal just outside the box to stun the Cameroonians. Then in the 24th minute, Cameroon missed a huge opportunity after their shot hit the post. However, it wasn't long after that for them to actually score as Anguissa put one in to draw level. Then before anybody could blink, a give and go meant that Anguissa would get a second goal of the match to put Cameroon up by 1. And then just when you thought things couldn't get any worse, Enda Ishimie gave away a penalty kick in the 61st minute, which Abubakar put in the back of the net to make it 3-1. However, after having made it this far, Burundi weren't gonna give up just yet, as Captain Berahino responded right away in the 67th minute to make it a 1-goal game. Then a penalty kick for Burundi in the 83rd minute excited the away crowd, but the captain would crumble under pressure and miss this penalty. The first leg would come to an end with a 3-2 home win for Cameroon, but the away goals matter, so those 2 goals were huge for Burundi. With the home crowd behind them in the return leg, the team looked ready to qualify for its first ever World Cup finals. An incredible chance in the 16th minute was the only highlight of the first half, with Captain Berahino failing to capitalize. Only needing a single goal, the Burundi manager knew he had to go for it. With a tactical change late in the match, his gamble paid off, as in the dying seconds of the match, Ntibazon Kiza managed to squeeze a shot past Onana to send Burundi to the World Cup on away goals. So just like that, we've qualified for the World Cup with Burundi. We also just got our first win, so we have to open our first reward. Let's see what we get. We get a construction boom, 13,000 to the GDP, 3 overall to the players. Now in our World Cup group, we've got Germany, Switzerland, and Korea. Pretty tough group. And our first match is against Germany, the group favorites. Ready to shock the world, the Burundi players walked onto the pitch for the first time in such a huge tournament with only one objective in mind: to win. The story of the first half was the goalkeeper Nduwimana. He made 3 key saves to hold off the Germany attack as the first half would come to an end at 0-0. Then at the beginning of the second half, it was the moment that all of Burundi was hoping hoping for. The hero, Ntibazonkiza, was at it again, scoring Burundi's first ever World Cup goal to stun the Germans. Right after the goal, a lapse in concentration from the Burundi defense meant Timo Werner was in all alone, but it was Nduwimana coming up huge once again to deny Germany the equalizer. However, a few moments later, a Leroy Sané cross to İlkay Gündoğan saw Germany draw level at 1-1. Then it almost looked like Burundi was going to steal this one just before the final whistle, but Ntibazonkiza's cross fell behind Bigirimana and the match would end in a draw. Even though we didn't get the win, that was a pretty good start to the tournament, I would say. We didn't lose to Germany. Next, we have to play against Switzerland, who have beaten Korea. Since the game was a draw, we can't open another box. Possibly a different formation could work against Switzerland. We'll go with the 4-2-2-2. This match is one Burundi has to win. In the early minutes, the captain Berahino was played in all alone against the goalkeeper, but he struck the far post. Burundi players controlled the rebound. Berahino got himself another golden opportunity, which once again he struck against the other post this time. The contest remained at 0-0. Those misses proved to be very costly as Benito scored in the 37th minute to make it 1-0 to Switzerland. Then right before the halftime whistle, it was the crossbar that stood in Burundi's way as Bigirimana missed his opportunity as well. However, Burundi finally found its goal on a header from the substitute Bimenyimana in the 84th minute to tie the match. Then in a miraculous moment, Ndikumana stole the 3 points as the Swiss defense failed to clear the ball from their box. This 2-1 victory was a historic moment for Burundi as they got their first ever World Cup win and are one step closer to the round of 16. And more importantly, we get to open the second box. Let's see what the second reward is. I hope it's a +8 overall. That's the highest boost. It's not. It's only a +2. There's a retail boom going on. The GDP goes up by $7,500 and also the whole squad gets a boost of +2 overall. With each and every single win, the team's getting stronger. Now, the last match, it's against Korea. A single point in this match could be enough for Burundi, but in order to become the richest country, the players knew nothing short of a win would satisfy. With some great passing in the opening minutes, Bigirimana's shot hit a Korean defender's arm and the ref pointed to the penalty spot. The captain Berahino then successfully converted the penalty to make it 1-0 to Burundi. Then in the 28th minute, Bigirimana's free kick came back from the wall and the ball ended up at the center back Ndayishimiye's feet, who struck it like a true striker to put Burundi up by 2. However, in the 51st minute, Korea pulled one back with Sung-young after a couple of unlucky bounces and it was again a 1-goal game. Then a goal from Amisi in the 83rd minute meant that Burundi could once again relax as they cruised to a 3-1 victory on their way to the round of 16. So with this win, the great country of Burundi is gonna get a boost in GDP as well as overall boost for players. Let's see, we get natural resources, 25,000 GDP, 7 overall. That's the second highest bonus. So this was huge. For getting out of the groups, it's kind of fitting that we get a decent reward. The country's GDP is going up. It's beautiful to see. Let's see who our opponent is in the round of 16. And we got matched up with Greece. I'll take it. Half the matches have already been played. Germany's through, Brazil's out, Portugal goes through, Italy knocked out Belgium, and Peru took out South Africa. England's playing against Japan, France, Mexico, Argentina, Oman. Spain finished last in this group. We've come second in ours. Germany won their match. And the Netherlands got knocked out by Oman pretty much here. The United States were paired with England once again, and they got knocked out, so it's not soccer this time. And Italy barely squeezed through this group. Now our team's looking really solid. We have to make it into the quarterfinals. We've got 84 rated players. We've got 78, 79 rated players. The goalkeeper needs to catch up, but he's actually been decent. Let's move on to this one. This match could be tough as this is Greece's first World Cup appearance since 2014. They will be just as hungry. However, an uplifted Burundi side wasn't gonna just let the Greeks have this match, as in the 18th minute, the winger Ndabashinze played it low inside the box to find Berahino, who tapped the ball into the open net to make it 1-0. He went on to celebrate with the traditional dance of Burundi along with his teammates. Then just before the halftime whistle, sloppy defending from Waymans had the Greeks win a penalty kick. Pavlidis took the penalty kick but was denied by the goalkeeper Nduwimana as the first half ended 1-0. The Greeks came close to tying the match at 1-1 when Funtas' shot struck the post, and luckily for Burundi stayed out. Late in the match, Nduwimana made a couple of more key saves to hold on to his clean sheet as Burundi kept on writing history and made it into the quarterfinals. What a huge win. A penalty kick save, only 1-0. The Greeks were tough, but they couldn't eliminate us. As we win, we get to open our fourth reward, which is a boost to the energy sector, which gives us 16,000 GDP and a +4 overall boost. We've got 3 more matches remaining, hopefully, and our goal is to to make it past $129,000. Here are the other results in the round of 16. France went through, Argentina went through, and Japan went through. England's out. And now in the quarterfinals, we get to face France. Our opponents are getting stronger. Our squad's getting stronger. Portugal took out Italy. Germany's through. Argentina's got Japan. This one's gonna be tough. Mbappe starting. Dembele, Coman. You've got Conte, Pogba, the Hernandez brothers, Maignan in goal. But this Burundi side is motivated. However, in the 13th minute, France made things a little bit more complicated as Kylian Mbappe found Pogba inside the box, who managed to squeeze it past Nduwimana to make it 1-0. Just as everyone had thought the game was drawn level, Ntibazon Kiza had his tap-in opportunity saved by Maignan, who displayed some amazing reflexes. Then in the 29th minute, a beautifully timed lob through ball from Berahino onto the path of Ndabashinze had Maignan in all sorts of trouble as the winger's shot went into the back of the net to tie the match at 1-1. This is how the first half would end. In the second half, Mbappe came out on fire, this time doing the scoring himself. After a great show of skill, he beat the Burundi goalkeeper on a one-on-one to put France back on top. Then in the 72nd minute, Bigirimana was played in onside but failed to capitalize on a huge chance as Maignan denied him the goal. Just when it seemed to be the end of the road for Burundi, Amisi showed up in the 87th minute to score and make it 2-2 to send this match into extra time. Not much happened in extras, and ultimately this contest had to be decided on penalty kicks. The first player to step up to the spot was Benzema, and he scored this penalty. Then Amisi scored to make it 1-1 for Burundi, and Uwimana went on to save Mbappe's penalty. Then Enda Isaba sent Maignan the other way to score. On Griezmann's penalty, it was yet another heroic save from Nduwimana, giving his country a huge advantage. Then the captain Berahino scored to make it 3-1, and Kunku had to score to keep France in it, and he managed to do so. But then Bigirimana, one of the best players of the tournament, placed his penalty into the top right corner to send France home and Burundi into the semifinals. Although the GDP is rising and the overalls are increasing, it's getting tougher and tougher. Looks like Japan's on a fairy tale run as well. They've eliminated Argentina. We don't know the semifinal matchups just yet. We have to get our next reward. We have to inch closer to that $129,000 value mark. And with a tourism boost, we get a plus 23,000 to the GDP and 6 overall. Plus 6 overall is a decent boost. And the Ishimi is gonna go from an 88 to a 94. And now, before you say it's too easy at this point, imagine this. Imagine you're from the poorest country and you're in the semifinals of the World Cup. Wouldn't you play like a 94? Wouldn't you play like an 88? Wouldn't you play like an 83 rated goalkeeper? I mean, some of our players are a little bit lower, but this is on par with, let's say, like a France or an England. And now it looks like in the semifinals, we get to face Japan. If you've noticed so far, we've been playing on legendary difficulty. I'm gonna push that up to ultimate. We're nearly there. We're nearly at the end. And we also need to make this country the richest country in the world. Remember that as we head into the semifinal match against Japan. And there were signs right away that reaching the World Cup wasn't going to be just a stroll in the park. In the 29th minute, Ritsu Douan's free kick went out off the crossbar and Burundi failed to create a chance in the first half against Japan. However, things were different in the second half. A free kick won off of a handball right on the edge of the box. A beautifully struck free kick went over the wall into the top corner as Burundi found the first goal of the match. Quickly after getting the first goal, Bigirimana was at it again, taking advantage of a flustered Japanese defense to put Burundi up by 2 goals and one more step closer to reaching the World Cup final. Signs of frustration were beginning to show for the Japanese as Wataru Endo recklessly mowed down Nibumona and received a straight red, leaving his team 1 man short for the rest of the contest. With Japan down to 10 men, Burundi were beginning to have fun as Ndabashinze took a bomb of a shot from distance which exploded off the crossbar. Ndabashinze wasn't going to let this match end without scoring as he took yet another hard shot towards Gonda. It was with this score that Burundi would reach the World Cup final. And guys, the World Cup final will be played against Portugal, who took out Germany 1-0. But first, we have to open our 6th reward. We're currently sitting at a GDP of $84,807. We need a big boost. Let's see what we get under number 6. We get a technology boom, plus 19,000 GDP. So that brings our GDP up to 103,807. We're only $25,000 short of making Burundi the richest country in the world. And then at this point, I think a plus 5 overall boost would be a little bit too overpowered, so we'll keep things the way they are. Cristiano Ronaldo also wants to win the World Cup, but we have to ruin his party. For our final match, we're at the Lusail Stadium. Our mission is to win this World Cup. Portugal have had the hardest route. Germany, Brazil, and I believe Italy. But it wasn't so easy for Burundi either, as our poorest country overcame adversity and made it all the way to this moment. I'm gonna commentate this one live. Here's Amisi, Berahino, Bigirama. What good passing, no offside, and Dabashinze. He scores and makes it 1-0 in the 8th minute. Man, it's been so hard reading these players' names. I've gotten used to it, I would say. This right winger has been one of the best players, Dugeri and Dabashinze. He scores again here, and we inch one step closer to becoming the richest country in the world and winning the World Cup. Let's go. Now, can we get a second goal? It's Berahino, the captain. He's got lots of space. He's gonna take the shot, and he's gonna score! I'm not sure what the problem is with the goalkeepers, because all these hard shots seem to be going in. I mean, although Berahino's up to like a 95 shot speed, so it might have been a little bit too much for Rui Patricio right there. We'll take it. I mean, it seems a little bit easy. We're on ultimate difficulty. Nothing else I can do. It's time to just enjoy the show. Here's Otavio, though. Portugal haven't given up. It's Ronaldo, and look at that save from Endo Wimana. What a great save. Here's the corner kick. Cristiano Ronaldo getting close, but not being able to score. We can't clear, and Endo Wimana makes another huge save. Now we're in the second half. Here's Rafael Leao to Cristiano Ronaldo. Gotta be careful. Fernandez. Ronaldo's taken down hard, and Portugal have a free kick. Ronaldo's on the ball. Will he score from this free kick? Ronaldo stepping up, and he hits the crossbar. We get lucky here. Since they couldn't score, can Kuizera go in all alone and score? He'll pass it off, and Ndabashinze scores his second goal of the match. This is easily our most dominating performance. I think our players were saving it for the finals. What a goal this was on the counter. Fairly easy. 3-0. Portugal's looking for a goal right here. Ronaldo passing it off to Leao, and Leao puts it in. It's too little, too late. And there goes the final whistle. We win the World Cup with Burundi. Here is Berahino getting to lift the trophy. Burundi are World Cup champions. And guys, we have one more question on our minds. Have we been able to make Burundi the richest country in the world? For that, let's open reward number 7, and we get an agriculture boost, which gives us a plus 5,000 GDP. We're still about 20,000 short, so might as well open number 8, as winning the World Cup would probably boost them a little bit more. So their banking investments, this was the biggest reward. A plus 30,000 GDP would make Burundi the richest country in the world if you go by GDP per capita. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you've enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to hit the like button, and don't forget to watch this video as well.